Okay, how am I going to explain this one? What's up YouTube, Annie here. Today's video, I'm going to tell you why I decided to sell my house and rent an apartment that's twice the cost of my mortgage. Second part wasn't the greatest idea. So I've lived in San Diego for almost 20 years now. Is it 20 years? No, it can't be that long. Yeah, almost 20 years. Oh my God, I'm old. I came here for college, never left. I mean, why would you? It's 71 degrees in January. It is the most beautiful place to live. But it is also known as one of the most expensive housing markets in the entire country. According to Rocket Mortgage, it's number 7. I mean, seriously, median household income, $83,000. Median home price, $837,000. Median monthly rent, $1,770. Where is that? Anyway, once upon a time, back in 2013, I was married. My ex and I decided to buy a house, and we happened upon this property in the outskirts of San Diego. It's on the very edge of town, right on the border. And the house was a bit of a mess, but it had great property. It had tons of land. It wasn't right on top of its neighbors. And it was in this super cute, super charming little village in the city of San Diego. So we paid, I think it ended up being somewhere around $450,000 when all was said and done for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, like 1,600 square foot house in San Diego. Now, fast forward 5 years later, my ex decides to leave. I end up with the house, I take over, and I put a bunch of money into the house improving it. I redid the bathroom, I turned the basement into a rental unit, and I put a ton of work into the yard. Now, this was perfect timing because this all happened in 2019. And as we know, 2020, the world just went crazy. Which, looking back, part of me really enjoyed it because I spent all day trapped in the house with my dogs, who are awesome. And I had wonderful neighbors, so if I got bored, I could just go over to their house, sit in the front yard, have a beer. It's a great community to be a part of. But here's the thing that they don't tell you when you have a house, is that houses are expensive to maintain. I know. The goal in American life is to own a home, be a homeowner. This is how you build generational wealth. But what they don't tell you is that houses are expensive to maintain. We're not just talking about your monthly mortgage and your interest payment that you're paying to the bank. You're talking about your insurance. You're talking about when things break. You're talking about the little trips to Home Depot to plant fall flowers. I mean, it's all little stuff that adds up. And you just never know when you're going to have to pay another ridiculous repair bill over something that you had no idea was a problem. Take, for example, 1 month after I took over the mortgage for my house, I noticed that the laundry wasn't draining properly, so I got a plumber to come out and look at it. Turns out the cast iron pipe had collapsed within the ground. They had to dig a trench from the yard all the way back through my office, bust up the floor, go through the laundry room, and relay this entire cast iron pipe to the tune of $4,000. Now, my monthly mortgage was $2,300, so we're talking about double my mortgage in 1 month to fix this thing that, adds no aesthetic value to my life. So long story short, I had a house, but I was completely cash poor. If you looked at it on paper, the house had appreciated hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when I looked at my bank statements, I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. My net worth is so high. Why is my bank account empty? It's because all that capital was locked up in this house. So long story short, a year goes by, I go on this amazing trip to Africa that I fall absolutely in love with traveling. And I just thought, okay, what is holding me back from being able to do this more often? It was the house. The house was keeping me physically locked in one place, mentally locked in one place, and financially very much locked in that place. Meanwhile, the housing market in San Diego is going absolutely bananas. Remember, I bought my house for around $450,000. I decided to contact my real estate agent and put the house on the market at $799. We were on the market for a week and had 2 offers at $50,000 over ask. one of which was all cash. I took that one. So cash out of this home that we'd had for 8 years, it was about $400,000 that I walked away with. Now, yes, if you're a finance person, you're like, well, that's not really true because that doesn't take into account all the interest you put in and all the repair costs. I know that. But look, when you cash out at the end, you don't really think about the amount you put in over the years. Now you have a lump sum, and so you think to yourself like, okay, now I have this chunk of cash, and that chunk of cash was about $400,000. Now the biggest thing that kept me from selling for so long was that if you sell your place, where do you go? Would I be able to afford something else after I sell my house on which I had a ridiculously low mortgage? For San Diego, 2,300, very low. So since I was making such a profit, I decided that I was going to hit the pause button for 1.5 years and rent a luxury apartment in downtown San Diego. That's where we are now. I've been in this apartment for about 1 year, and I can tell you, it was probably a terrible mistake. Now, don't get me wrong, the apartment is absolutely stunning. 2-bedroom, 1 bath, with this huge balcony and the most amazing view looking out over Point Loma, the ocean, the bay, Coronado. I mean, it could not be more spectacular to wake up here every single day. But now I am absolutely completely spoiled. Where am I gonna go after this? One thing I know for certain, I can't afford to keep living in this spot. Yes, it has all the most amazing amenities. I mean, we're talking rooftop lounge with pool. We're talking game room and dog park. I mean, free coffee in the lobby every single day. It is a stunning building, but it has its downsides too. I don't know if you've seen in the news, but downtown San Diego in general, has a pretty horrendous homeless problem. And because this building is near transit lines and other services, it tends to attract some of the more desperate situations. There are a lot of people around the building who are clearly on drugs or having mental health crisis. It doesn't always feel like the safest place to live. And when you're spending this kind of money to live here, just feels like a modern dystopia where we're in this ivory tower while all of this tragedy is happening around us. There's also a massive trash problem around this block. I mean, every single day there is broken glass, trash from the trash cans where people have picked through it, beer bottles, drug paraphernalia, human feces. I have seen human feces on more than one occasion. Yeah. So the conditions around the building are pretty horrendous. And I just keep asking myself, do I want to pay this amount of money to live in an area where I don't necessarily feel safe? Now, I don't want to get into the causes and the politics around the homeless situation because there are many opinions and it is a hot button topic. All I will say is, as a resident of an area that is highly affected by a homeless situation, it is really, really difficult to set up a life here. And it's really a shame because downtown San Diego has so much going for it. There are amazing businesses down here. There are wonderful restaurants and bars. There are lots of outdoor activities. There's the Padres Stadium right here. There's the Shell where you can go see concerts. If the city of San Diego can get this problem under control, downtown would be the most amazing place to live, and I would never want to leave. Now, if you've stuck here this long, I know the question you're asking yourself is, how much exactly are you paying to live in this fancy apartment building? Well, let me break it down for you. Base rent, $4,360. It's painful. I will say, because I signed on to an 18-month deal, they did give me 2 months for free, so that puts my total like somewhere below the $4,000 a month mark if you were to average it out over the 18 months, but still, except for those 2 months where I got free rent every month, $4,360. Here's the part that kills me. Nothing is included in this rent except for the apartment. So, parking space, one parking space, $150 a month. Pest control, $3.61 a month. I haven't seen any bugs, so I guess it's working. Pause. This is another thing about living downtown. It's very loud. Everything just echoes and bounces off all the buildings. So like the sirens, people yelling. There's a bus that drives around that like has a band playing on top of it. That is so freaking loud. It's very hard to film YouTubes. Porter service charge, $5. I don't even know what that is. We have a porter, we don't have a porter service. There's a concierge at the desk who works from like 7 to 7, or 9 to 7, but I don't know what porter service charge is. Trash, $9. Water, $8.37. Sewer, $6.27. And a billing fee for $5. They charge me $5 to send me a bill. Also, if you have a pet is $50 a month. If you want to reserve any of the amenities, any of the rooms, that's another $500. You know, it's funny, my dad always says that like the cheaper the hotel, the more you get included. Kind of feels that way with an apartment, right? More expensive apartment, the less that's included in your bill. Oh yeah, and this doesn't include electricity and gas, which my electricity and gas, I have air conditioning here, tends to run me somewhere between like $150 to $180 a month. So yeah, all told for that amount, $4,547.25. And that's why I can't afford to live here much longer. It's been fun, it's been delightful, but I gotta figure out what I'm doing next. And there's no way I can continue to pay over $4,000 a month for an apartment unless this YouTube channel takes off. So please tell your friends, go subscribe, watch some videos. We gotta hit that monetization. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Keep along with the adventure. I'll keep you updated on where I decide to go next. I don't know, maybe we'll try North County. I heard it's nice up there. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, go build a life you love. Bye.